Now this is probably the video with the most progressing content in my whole channel. I mean, it better be, it's been a year. Now we can drive airships, we can find big structures, we have a proper day-night cycle, and much, much more. Also, big announcement later in the video. And consider wishlisting, I'm just saying. So the environment here is made of many floating islands, and each of them feels kinda boring. I had things spawn singularly, so instead I want to spawn things in a more natural way. Grouping things together like some of these, and with that done, it feels much more natural. And you might think here I was lazy and used the same code for other biomes, and yeah, you would be right, that's exactly what I did. I eventually added some randomly spawned floating rocks on the bottom and some smaller islands of the same type on the top, and for other biomes I just have to do the same. Easy, right? Well, I don't think so. Now let's change topic and let's talk about UI. If you remember, we have a pretty decent amount of machineries we can interact with, from the smelter to whatever this thing is. So we might need some interface to let the player know what's going on. Starting from the island scanner, this is the style that I went for. I tried to keep the same style for everything else in the game, including the airship, but we will see that later in the video. And now if you remember, we had some UI back in the days. Days? More like 5 years. Damn, I gotta get this game out. So we can agree that this was a bad UI, right? Also, this was really sus. I've seen this somewhere else. So I restyled the whole thing, keeping only hexagons from all that hippo garbage, and with a couple hours of painful iterations of multiplayer-friendly inventory coding, we have a somehow working UI system. And by the way, for the bars, I just stretched some hexagons, because hexagons are cool. Now, do you remember this? This is a bioheal synthesizer. And you might say, a bio what? Well, I don't know if you noticed, but the icon here is not a hunger bar like you might expect, but it's your arm health. And that's because for story-related reasons, the only human part of your body is your left forearm. So you put any organic stuff into this guy and... Wait, that sounds weird. And then you press the button. You wait a little bit harder, and you get the Steam page to wishlist. No, actually, you don't get the Steam page to wishlist. That would not make sense. I did it on purpose, and it even took me 15 minutes to do, so please do it. I'm running out of ideas. So after waiting, you actually get an injector that you can use to inject juice in your arm and keep alive. Also, if you find some special crates around the islands, you can be lucky enough to get a recipe which is written here to get some special injectors, like this one increases your temporary max arm health, or this one gives you 5 more permanent health points. Now, how do you move between islands? If you remember, we have an unlimited modular building system that I restyled into this. And there will also be some pre-built airships that you can choose from, like this one. When you get in, you will have the engine that you might want to power and the cockpit, which I decided to make almost all out of glass, because I clearly couldn't see anything before. And there is an emergency button too, because we are serious here, that if pressed, it will make everything explode. Because why not? Explosions are cool. Now that actually just instantly stops the airship. I wish my game was that fun. And since you don't have to be physically there to drive it, there is an advanced automatic collision system to stop it before you crash. By the way, this is the advanced automatic collision system. Also, during nighttime, there is another advanced system that turns on lights so that you can actually see, as well as this one that you can toggle. Now, ignoring for a second those monitors that gives information about the system, here is my favorite thing about the airship. Exploring the world, you can find some old crashed airships, and in some of them you might as well find some cockpit-related crates with some GPS modules. You take one and you plug it into the GPS module reader, and that will reveal a location. It can be just a research deposit or some story-related buildings or whatever else. They are flagged with different icons, so they should be easy to recognize. One of these buildings is the antenna. You know, I like hexagons, and I have been inspired by this image, so I decided to hop on Blender and try to recreate something similar. Spoiler, I ended up making it just a little bit bigger. I also wanted it to be explorable so that it's more rewarding to the player, and therefore I added a little cabin to it. But now I felt like it was not proportioned. Also, what is this, like 1 minute exploration? So I added another whole floor. And then another one, and why not another last one? Now it's much better, but I'm not gonna lie, this took me a couple days to do, and another pretty big chunk of my willing to leave, and there was not much to start with. Also, based on the story, this should be one of the 4 special buildings that you can find, and it's probably even the smaller one. Now, before I get to the announcement, I want to show a few more things that I might want to get in detail another time. Like machineries. Machineries are now working, the power generators too. The farming system is a very good point. Remember, I added some unique things to it, as well as island exploration. That is one of the most important things in the game, but I'd like to dedicate a whole video to it. Some other UI changes and missions. I almost forgot that. We have missions. It's just a tutorial kind of thing, actually, but it's cool, yeah. So I'd say we are at a very good point. Well, I guess I can make the announcement. I am launching a demo soon, so if you wish this the game now, Steam lets you know when the demo is out. I already started a very close playtesting on Discord, thanks to all the people that tried it out. Also, don't forget to like this video, and I'll see you guys next time. So what do we get if we combine crocs and hexagons? Oh my god, I want this.